3 reasons why you'll likely pay less taxes in retirement, but you should still be using a Roth. I've got that and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. When you're working, you have this decision. It's a quintessential financial planning decision. Cannot make this decision in a vacuum. It applies to all of us. When I'm saving up for retirement, should I fund pre-tax or should I fund Roth or after-tax? Pre-tax, of course, the premise is, well, while I'm working, I've got high income. And I need the deduction. So I'm going to fund my 401k pre-tax and get the deduction today, have it grow, tax sheltered and all that. And then out there in the future, I'll pull whatever I need out of my IRA. I'll pay tax at that time, but I'll be in a lower tax rate, right? That's where you win. If that's the truth, then yes, a no-brainer, absolutely. Well, the Roth is where you don't get a tax benefit on your contribution today. So essentially, it's an after-tax contribution. All of that activity, though, is sheltered, and the growth comes out tax-free. You pull it out in retirement, and you don't pay any tax then. So the big idea there is, well, I'm in a low tax bracket today, and I'm in a high tax bracket in the future. That's when the Roth makes the most sense. So here's the thing. Are you going to be in a lower tax bracket in retirement or a higher tax bracket? That's going to help influence whether you should fund pre-tax or fund Roth. Well, you need to have tax diversification, and you've got to be working with your certified financial planner every year deciding which one makes the most sense. Now, there are 3 very clear reasons that likely mean you're going to be paying less tax in retirement. But these 3 reasons doesn't mean you shouldn't be using the Roth. First is you're not going to pay FICA. You're not going to pay FICA tax in retirement. FICA is a tax on your wages. It's a tax on your wages. So your paycheck money, your employment money. And it's 4-letter F word, 7.65% of every paycheck up to a certain amount comes out and goes towards FICA taxes. So if you make $100,000, you're paying over $7,500 in this tax. In fact, this is often why we've had some clients where when we build the retirement income plan, they look and say, wait a second, that's all my retirement income is going to be? My salary right now is this, and you're telling me that my income that I need is only going to be this. Well, yeah, because you can take FICA right off the top. There's several other changes that you go through, that we go through with folks and help them kind of make sure that that's the right plan for them. But FICA is not a tax that you're going to pay in retirement, because you don't pay FICA on retirement withdrawals or your pension or Social Security, interest, dividends, those sorts of things. So that will mean that you'll pay less tax in retirement. That tax won't be there. Also, the unique way in which Social Security is taxed. Even in the worst of scenarios, not all of your Social Security will be taxable. That's a little confusing, but there's a unique formula that influences how much of your Social Security will actually land on your federal tax return. And if your income, it depends on whether you're married, filing jointly or not, but let's say married, filing joint. If all of your income plus half of your Social Security, if that is over $32,000, then some of your Social Security starts flowing over onto your tax return. But if it's below that, none of your Social Security is actually taxable on your federal tax return. But assuming that it's over that amount, some of your Social Security starts coming over and landing on your tax return. And then after that, if your income at that calculation exceeds a certain level, then up to 85% of your Social Security lands on your tax return. So anytime you say that, people think the tax is 85%. No. It's just how much is going to be taxable. Where right now, 100% of your wages are taxable, or after your deductions, it's taxable. Whereas for Social Security, in the worst case, if you make the maximum amount of money, only 85 cents for every dollar is included as taxable income. Therefore, you will actually have more income, you'll receive more income, and not all of it is taxable. That should help save you taxes or reduce your tax bill in retirement. And the third reason you'll likely pay less taxes overall in retirement is, again, with Social Security, most states, not all, but most states do not tax Social Security. So you've got a big chunk of income. For many people, it's a third or a half of your overall income isn't going to be taxed to the state at all. And here in Indiana, state tax is state plus locals around 5%. And gosh, if between you and your spouse, your Social Security is 50 grand between the two of you, geez, that's $2,500 of tax that you're not going to have to pay that you currently would have to pay right now. In addition, some states, not all, not many, but some, also don't tax other retirement benefits as well. So all of that leads to you'll likely pay less tax in retirement than during your working career. Because that also means if there's not as much tax drag for you to get the amount of income you need to spend, then that means your overall gross or taxable income isn't going to be as high. You don't need to pull out as high of a gross number to get to a net number that equates to your living expenses. So in essence, yeah, for many people in many circumstances, you'll pay less overall taxes in retirement. But here's why I would still use the Roth IRA. If it makes sense for your situation, and for many of people, it does. Not paying FICA is going to apply whether you contribute pre-tax or Roth. It's going to be the same thing. Plus, your contribution that goes into the pre-tax 401k or the Roth 401k, you're still going to have to pay FICA tax on those contributions. So that's a neutral point. That's a moot point. Then, using the Roth IRA, by funding the Roth, when you pull dollars out of your Roth IRA in retirement, it actually doesn't count towards that calculation I said that determines whether Social Security is taxable. Therefore, when you look at, well, in retirement, I've got Social Security, and I'll be drawing dollars out of my IRA or Roth IRA at that time, and to supplement my Social Security, when you draw a dollar out of your pre-tax, your IRA, that's going to count towards all your other income plus half of Social Security. That's going to count against you towards that calculation. But when you withdraw money from your Roth IRA or Roth 401k, it does not count as all other income plus half of Social Security. It does not count towards that calculation. So it will actually improve or could reduce the amount of tax you pay on your Social Security. So even though in this, looking at these three reasons why you'll likely pay less tax in retirement, that doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't be using a Roth. Work with your certified financial planner, see what makes sense for your situation, and make sure you've got an appropriate tax shelter strategy that fits for you. Work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well. Or send us an email, info@Korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.